Welcome to the Mass Retirees Weekly Update. Today's Friday, July 3rd. I'm Sean Duhamel. Thank you for joining us again this week. Happy Independence Day. I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend coming up. Enjoy your time with friends and family, but just please do so by being safe and following all the steps that we've been living by for the past several months. Here in Massachusetts, things continue to head in the right direction. We just got to stay vigilant and keep it going and don't become complacent and allow things to slide backwards. But with that, let me jump into the news of the week. I want to first of all thank everyone who has participated in our annual Political Action Committee drive. As we mentioned last week, and as I'm sure a lot of you know, this is our annual PAC drive. The Public Retirees Political Action Committee, our PAC, which is the political arm of Mass Retirees. The initial returns that have come in just over the past few days, you guys never stop amazing me. The generosity of our members and the commitment that you have to our association and to furthering the mission of Mass Retirees is just unbelievable. So I can't thank you enough. The overwhelming majority of you have also contributed a little bit extra this year. As you know, for every $25 that we bring in for a contribution, we are going to donate $2 to a Massachusetts-based COVID-19 relief fund. And there are multiple relief funds set up across the state. And we're going to be working with our executive board to identify which funds that we want to get involved in and really need the help. But that's going to help Massachusetts citizens, but most importantly, Massachusetts small businesses, which of course are the economic engine of our state. And you may say, well, why is this an issue that Mass Retirees cares about? Well, we live and die by how well our state is doing. Your benefits, your health insurance, COLAs, the funding of our pension systems, all of that relates back to revenues brought in at the state and local level. So if the state is hurting, if cities and towns are hurting, our members are going to feel it. And that's what we're afraid of. And the more we can do collectively to come together to help jumpstart this economy and get through this very difficult time, the better off we are all going to be. So we're very happy to do our small part. I just, again, want to say thank you to everyone who has participated in this effort. Your generosity is just simply amazing. Now, we're also reminded this week of just how difficult times are going to be going forward. For those of you who participated in our telephone town hall this past Tuesday, it was our 5th town hall since the pandemic began in March. This week's town hall focused on our legislative proposals and what's happening at the State House on Beacon Hill. We were joined on the call by State Representative Tom Golden from Lowell and State Senator Brendan Creighton from Lynn. Now, Senator Creighton and Representative Golden are no strangers to our association. In fact, many of you are aware that both of these legislators time and time again have put their name and their efforts and their full force of their offices behind legislation that's sponsored by Mass Retirees. They're great friends of our association, and they take the issues that are important to you very seriously, and they make sure that you're a priority. And really, that's what we're looking for. When we choose which legislators to endorse and to ask you to consider supporting, those are the kind of folks that we have in mind. People who are going to put you first, whether they are a Republican or a Democrat or unenrolled or whatever the case may be. None of that matters. What matters to us as a retiree organization is how their actions are going to affect you. And when it comes to Brendan Creighton and Tommy Golden, both of them, again, time and time again, have stepped up on your behalf. Now, 2 weeks ago, a bill sponsored by Senator Creighton was released favorably by the Joint Committee on Public Service. That legislation, of course, you should be familiar with it by now. It is our enhanced COLA proposal. Now, this is a new initiative that we came up with over the past couple of years of working on what we can do to help those retirees who have fallen further and further behind. So what this legislation would do is it grants an additional COLA benefit on top of the traditional COLA to retirees who have been retired for at least 15 years and meet certain criteria in terms of years of service, the size of your pension, those sorts of things. Now, the details are still being ironed out, but the legislation, again, has moved on favorably from the Public Service Committee. It is now before the Senate Ways and Means Committee, where we will be working with Senate Ways and Means Chairman Mike Rodrigues from Southeastern Mass to move this legislation forward. Now, despite the difficult times that we're going through right now, we believe that this legislation in particular has a really strong chance of moving forward. It does not have a high price tag, and the people that we're trying to help with this are really the retirees who need it the most. Now, it has long been a tradition and a goal of our association, going all the way back to our founding in 1968, that we always look out for the little guy. We're always there for surviving spouses, for instance. We're always there for retirees who are at the lower end of the income scale or getting up there in age and whose pensions over the years just haven't been able to keep up with inflation. And we understand just how difficult it is for people, and that's why we put extra effort into helping those who really need it the most. And it's really a tradition that we're very, very proud of here. So that legislation is moving forward, but on Tuesday, on our telephone town hall, we had nearly 3,500 members participate in the teletown hall. It was the largest participation that we've had yet out of the 5 sessions that we've held. And we can't be happier that you're engaging in this and that we're getting you involved, and it gives you the opportunity to hear the facts and get firsthand information as to what's going on that impacts your pension or your health insurance. And it keeps you engaged with us. And we're going to continue doing this going forward. Our next town hall is scheduled for Tuesday, July 28th at 1 p.m. That will focus on the state budget with House Ways and Means Chairman Aaron Michowitz will be our special guest at that time to update everyone on what's happening with the budget. But this past week, Representative Golden gave an update on the legislative activity surrounding the pandemic and how Massachusetts has responded and what the legislature has been doing, a brief update on the state budget, and then Senator Creighton talked about some of the legislation that he's working on your behalf in terms of life insurance, in terms of the enhanced COLA that I just mentioned, and really looking for a path forward of how we're going to address these issues for you going from this step forward. Now, here in the office, I know many of you have been trying to get through to us or call our hotline. You may know that we had a technical failure of our phone system on Friday, and because it happened on a Friday, it took a few days for the parts to come in. The phone system is now back up and running. However, they're trying to fine-tune the software. These days everything is electronic and digital, and it's not as simple as just plugging a wire in and everything works again. So bear with us. However, if there ever comes a time when you need to contact us and you can't reach me or Frank or someone else in our office, all of our contact information is on the back of your membership card. Do not hesitate to call us at those numbers if you need us. We are a service organization just as much as we are an advocacy group. We want to make sure that we're always here for you. Now, our other focus right now in the office, beyond all the things I just talked about, is publishing our September 2020 newsletter. We're going to go to press early. If you've been following the news in Massachusetts, the voting process for the September 1st primary is going to begin in early to mid-August. Everyone's going to have the ability, if you choose to vote by mail. If you don't feel comfortable going to the polls, if you're a little bit concerned about public health issues related to COVID-19, the state is allowing folks to vote by mail, and we want to make sure that we get our newsletter to you in advance. We're going to have some endorsements in the newsletter. We're also going to have an update on everything that's going on with Social Security windfall elimination provision, with our legislative program, with your health insurance. It's going to be chock full once again of a ton of different information. And lastly, in the coming weeks, some of you may receive a poll or a survey, a telephone survey that Mass Retirees is planning on conducting. From time to time, we want to gauge your opinions and your thoughts and your feelings on things, and we're going to conduct our own survey or poll in the coming weeks to ask you how you feel about a variety of different issues. I promise it's not going to be too long, it's not going to be too invasive. but you might get a survey, and I just want to give you the heads up that we're doing this. It's important that we get your thoughts and feelings on things. We care about what you think, and it's important to us. So if you get a phone call, please take a few moments and participate in the survey. It's really going to be very helpful going forward. But with that, I'm signing off. Please enjoy Independence Day weekend. It's a special time for our country. I'm coming to you today from my home in Dorchester. I got Old Glory flying behind me proudly. So with that, thank you again for your continued support of our association. You stay safe.